Make it
It
a,
just needs to be finished.
make it a real trail.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's started, but it's not completed.
I am going to suggest two things. I would like to bring this to the Trail Committee, just to make sure that they get the blessings of the Trail Committee. Also, I think we probably need to reach out to the Water Department.
Right.
Or the Water Commission and stuff, because I do not want to do anything, because this is a watershed.
Right.
It goes into our drinking water, and I would like to get their blessings as well before we do any construction, because I don't know what their rules and regulation is, because it is a watershed going into our drinking water supplies. So those are two of the things that I would like to suggest.
Third suggestion, whenever you talk to the water commission, I think there's a ramp that leads from the, or there's a road that leads from the water plant down to the dam.
There is.
If you plan on crossing that, there might be some security
Okay.
concerns with folks getting to the water treatment plant.
I think as of now with the plan, there's no spots that we cross it, but if that changes, I'll definitely look into that.
Yeah. So those are I would really like to get the Water Commission's blessing before we do any construction. That's just my personal opinion on that. And then we can set up a meeting for the Trail Committee for them to kind of bless this, if that's okay. So it may be next month,
Okay,
okay?
that's fine.
And I don't know when the next Water Committee meeting would be.
Yeah, Monday.
Is there any way that I don't know, does he just need to show up to theirs, or how does this work?
I believe the director or the chair of this commission can
Can
bring it.
bring it, okay,
I'll put it on the agenda if you want.
okay. All right, just wanted I want to cover all of our bases, but it looks like a good project.
Thank you.
And I like the rock
Yeah,
idea, because that's more
durable.
durable,
Yeah.
and it's not going to wash. It would be harder to wash.
And funding?
Funding,
Us.
Yeah, what's that on?
Yeah,
So if we take out the crushed rock, it's not gonna cost us very much.
no, ma'am.
Okay.
it
Yeah.
won't.
I'd like to get a cost estimate on mulch, just so
Okay.
we could have both
Both.
to kind of decide.
And also, just remember that's gonna decompose pretty quickly.
That's true.
Yeah, that'd be yearly,
Like a-
probably, to put that down.
Yeah, so you'd have to think of this redoing it.
Okay, then don't worry about the mulch.
Okay.
What's your last name again?
Veach, Veatch. Here, I got it.
And it's Thomas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
It's
thanks.
it's really tiny, but it's.
Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't see it in part of your plan, but are you gonna add this to like the All Trails app or map it out?
Big question. Whenever it's completed, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, Casey can help with that.
Just so everyone knows it.
What would they need to go out and GIS it?
Just to get out there on the hiking apps so people know where it's at. Same with like, we need to do that to the whole trail system,
Yeah.
including the one going through the middle of town.
I think this is great though, and I think it's very much needed, because I've walked that, and I've always wished I could do the other side of the lake, so.
Yep.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Thomas.
that's awesome.
Thank
Yep.
y'all.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, good presentation.
If they approve it.
That's where we got trouble.
No problem.
The next item on the agenda is the financial update.
Thought you wish you had coffee.
Can we go into the budget presentation? So what I'd like to do is just show you your fund balances right now, and we get into it more when we go into the first business item or the second business item now, which is the budget adoption, because there has been some changes and there's some discussion items that we need specifically around the inclusive park, which is also in there. We also have updated some of the expenses on the budget for finalized numbers from the AE&D, the workers' comp, both from AML, as well as we just had our open enrollment for insurances, and those have been updated now specifically because of the family coverages that the three of the four employees now have. So, those numbers increase. And that is reflected in the budgets. But first I want to show you your fund balance as of 10/31. You have a all-in for all funds of 489,000 as of 10/31. That number's a little lower now based on expenses that have been incurred for half of the month of the first payouts. You know, we do our AP payments on the 15th and the 30th, so you've already had the 15th run, and those numbers are not reflected in this 10/31 balance. But you can see that from the budget amount, we're still 34.73% all in above what we budgeted, 489 to 319, but we're 31% down from where we started the year at 717,000 all in. The city sales and use tax parks was at 208,000. We budgeted to be 298. There's going to be some impacts to that for various reasons I'll share with you. And we'll talk when we go into the budgets, the splash pad checking. This 115,000, there's been a little hiccup in that, two little hiccups. Did some, let's say upon further reviews, in that 115,000 is the $220,000 payments to the capital for the splash pads loan. So we're gonna have to factor that out for whether there's gonna be any surplus coming back to city sales and use tax. The answer to that is there probably will be, but it'll probably be $5,000 to $7,000, depending on what those last numbers come in from Crawford Construction and this Crawford Construction. Once they do their final payout bill to us, we'll know exactly how much, absent of the 40,000, can go back into the city sales and use tax funds. So we got really close. If you look at how we really budgeted how much you were gonna have to fund that a year ago, that's $600,000. We now know where that's, why that balance is the way it is right now. It's kind of on hold. That 40,000 will be sent over to Farmers Bank this month, so that will also, and I'll talk about it during the budget presentation, we'll be talking about at what point does the city sales and use tax account start rebounding? Because there's some, right now, major anomalies that are hitting that account that will go away. One of them is the second payment to the inclusive park for 150,000. That's one payout for next year. It's in next year's budget. Once that's done, you have no more payouts to them. So your city sales and use tax will benefit in future years, starting in '27, by $150,000. And you will also have the loan paid off by the end of '28, which will also bring in about somewhere in the neighborhood of $14,000 a month for 12 months. That is what your annual payments are. I do have it in the presentation. Let me go into it right there. What the? Yeah, it's gonna be about 5,000 in this. So this is the splash pad. This is the way it looks right now. That's that 115,000. Take out the 40. There's 75,226. He's estimating the final payout to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 70,000. So you have about 5,226 left in that. And the city sales and use tax virtual checking account, your amount that you would be picking up per year and adding back to the city sales and use tax account once the loan is paid off is about $172,000 a year. So you'll be grabbing that. You'll also have an additional next 2,000 after next year. 2027 will bring in an additional 150. So that's on a usable annual basis. So you're looking at about 225,000 pickup in your revenue side. In other words, you're not having to expend it, so you're going to be utilizing the revenue stream. So that'll help you rebound some of what is being impacting of the account right now. Mostly it's the debt on the splash pad. So, and I did want to show though that there's some movement that we're going to have, and I'll get into that on the budget regarding the city sales and use tax in order to eliminate some of our pressures on our unrestricted general fund. So we'll get into that in a little bit. And I don't know if you're moving right into the budget or not.
It's the next item on our agenda.
So we want to move into it. Let's talk about the inclusive health care. I know he's riveted to this, so he wants to hear what our plan is.
We talked briefly, I think I'd messaged y'all and asked, or mentioned that we were gonna ask council for $100,000 for the inclusive playground. That was not adopted. They did not vote for that. So now it's on us to hopefully be able to fund. Tom, we're working through $80,000. We're expecting farmers to pay us $10,000 this year, and then $10,000 next year, first of the year. So for 2026 budget, we would be responsible for $80,000. These are the line items inside of our budget that we would put towards that 80,000. So we would nix the mural on the caboose. The remaining balance from our A&P budget for this year, I think that we should just make that a balance, whatever the balance is, just zero that account. But right now as a placeholder, it's $31,000 and $31,500. There's the two $10,000 donation amounts from farmers for 25 and 26. We're expecting to have around $5,000 in splash pad surplus. And then we've talked about just having our street department work on the Liberty Park Figure 8 trail and construct that through our street department. So that would remove another capital project, $15,000, and then the balance remaining to be funded, give or take some dollars and cents, is $11,500 that we would take from the city sales and use tax.
Remember, you're gonna get 80,000 over the next 8 years after these two payments are made, so that'll also drop back into your city sales and use tax, to repay the amount that you're funding.
The other recommendation was to have farmers loan us the money for what they're going to give us, which is weird, but it would be over 5 years on a operating loan, and Stanhope said do it at 4%. But even at 4%, $80,000 over 5 years, that's like $6,000 you're going to pay in interest. So, you know, you're losing regardless.
This looks like a good plan. Do you have any grants that we may be able to qualify for to kind of offset some of this? Have you looked into anything further? Or?
Well, the issue is that there's not really any grants there's not any grants out there that are able to specifically made to fill in the gaps like this. Most of the time, if a body that's granting knows you're fully funded, and I mean, in essence, we are. This is pledged money, but it's still funding the project. They're way less apt to give you the money.
Is that committee still fundraising?
Yes.
So they can continue to fundraise to help maybe offset some of the cost.
The idea is to continue fundraising in perpetuity of the park, as long as it's there.
For upkeep and.
For upkeep, you know, if someone wants to donate a bench, it'll go through that 501, all of those things. But $100,000 in 6 months would be, or even $80,000 in 6 months would be a difficult ask.
Got the 11.5, so, I mean, is that a possibility?
I mean, I think it's a possibility.
That's doable.
Yeah.
11.5? Yeah. assuming that our revenue stream stays at or below what it currently is. Now, we still have 2 months of projected revenues that are in the budget right now. So there's a probability or a possibility that that trend will still become a little more positive, and our city sales and use tax will rebound a little bit. If that happens, because we're budgeting flat, if that happens next year where there's a pickup in that, that will all drop to this bottom line.
Is there any wiggle room for oops during construction? Or are they able to cover anything during the construction process? The oops.
So, I mean, I think that we're talking specifically about rock in the ground. This area, is not rocky. If anything, it's wet.
Is that a problem?
I don't think we're gonna have issues where we are.
So, but the question is, will they have wiggle room if they do come in? Or is that something that will need to come back to us?
That'll have to come back to us. There's always, I mean, that's always looming on any construction project. It's what keeps me up at night too. Yeah.
Bottom line is, how much is we put into this project? We said we'd
We
put in
put in
250,000.
170
We said 250,000.
Sorry, 275.
275, that's what we said we'd put in. Promised us not to do any more than that. Is that happening?
Immediately, yes. Over 8 years, no.
Okay.
Because farmers is committed to paying $100,000. It's
I'm
just
just-
really
I'm just
unfortunate that they have to do it over 10 years.
I'm just saying, we shouldn't be out no more than what we promised.
You're exactly correct.
When it's all said and done.
When it's all said and done, we shouldn't be out any more than what we promised.
Correct.
You're just time funding that.
Just kind of shuffling.
You're gonna get it back, you're just gonna get it back.
Over time.
Well, okay.
Do you think there's any issue with the AMP agreeing to this 31.5 being utilized this way?
It's part of our 45% that they gave to us. It's part of the 45% allotment.
That's already given to you, you have it.
We don't have to.
Get their approval.
Okay.
Plus, if it's anything to think about, they already have, they're already donating to the inclusive park. Already, they're giving out grants to them of what's residual in that. So it is a project they are, embracing.
Okay.
So we have to come up with 11,500?
You have, you'll have the budget.
Somebody's wanting to.
No, not yet,
So we only need 9,500.
essentially.
There you go.
Look at us, already making money. Okay. Okay. Do you need a vote on that?
It doesn't have to be, I mean, we're about to present a budget to you all. This will be included in the budget
Okay.
once it's finalized out.
What do they need to do on this to bless it? Do they need,
Do what?
do you need, what's your next steps?
Oh, just need to vote to approve this budget.
No, I meant,
Oh.
we're not through the budget yet, but I mean, as far as, he needed it to order or get something going on this project.
If it's in the budget for next year, that, I think that satisfies what I need to do.
And you can go ahead and order.
Yes, yes, yep.
Tom, before we start, what I'm concerned about is if there's bumps in the road. Do we have money to take care of bumps in the road?
As long as the bumps in the road don't exceed $100,000, you're okay.
It won't be that bumpy.
Doubt it will.
I don't like bumps.
I don't like bumps either. I'm the one that has to deal with the bumps.
No, goodness. There's already a road there. Right
Is
on the
that,
road.
is that scenario something that we're okay with?
I think it looks like a reasonable approach.
Okay.
Yes, agreed.
And I think what Tom was talking about a second ago is just kind of growing pains inside the department as far as where our finances are right now. But we're also about to get some relief in the next year or two to where we can move on and do some other things.
There's some anomalies built into some of the decisions and plans that you already have going, factored in, that will just be short-term, they're not long-term issues. Going forward, though, I would be highly cautious until you get over this hump to start building that back up, that amount back up to over $500,000. Seriously say, oh, well, now our loan's gone, let's jump on these major projects. You might wanna give it a little bit of time to recover. See what's necessary and plan those for maybe in your 5-year plan. I like to think of it as that if you're putting money away, if you don't have projects right now for opportunity expenses. There's things that come up that are opportunities that right now, and right now, if an opportunity availed itself to you, you really don't have the money to go jump on it, if it's of any significant dollar. So I'd like you to at least also have a contingency for that event that you're referring to and those issues that'll come that are unforeseen, whether they're weather or disaster related in some way. But you also want to put money away for things that come in front of you, like that presentation you just had today, or the switchback trail stuff for the Eagle Scout. That was something we didn't even think about, it's not in the budget, it's something you have to consider. When do we want to do it, and if we want to do it, do we jump on that opportunity, because the labor costs are non-existent.
Is there by any chance, what's in the plans for the extending Fox Run?
That should be in the street budget for twenty
I think
26, is that correct?
Has to do
Yeah,
with the
base.
streets then?
Mhm.
And it's in their budget for when?
Next year.
Hello, thank you.
You will. Has he budgeted the trail as well, the sidewalk? Have you seen that?
We're meeting on
Friday?
Friday.
Okay. I know we talked about having that trail budgeted in somewhere at the same time to where they're completed together, but I don't know if he has it in for next year or not. We'll know more after Friday. Y'all asked me to get with Tom and work through the budget to see if there's any more specifically on the operations side that we could whittle down a little bit. This is pretty lean the way it is. Unfortunately, in looking, we found, to use Tom's word, an anomaly. The health insurance for our employees, staff team, has gone up a little bit because, did we say 3 out of 4 of us had added dependents? So it's gonna wind up doubling from last year to, or this year to next. That's on page 1. It's line item 64420. A little past halfway down the page.
So $10,000 increase.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, it'll probably wind up being 34,000, I think. 33,000, I thought we had added up. Somewhere in that range.
Based on your budget right now, you're budgeted the same from this year, so it's 29,800.
Okay.
So will it be going up?
There was no rate increase in the insurance.
It was 18,000 last year, or this year.
It's the same rates we had this year.
But, but the budget what the 29,842 is what is budgeted for next year, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
That's with
Just-
the current, all of his 3 employees plus himself
Mm-hmm.
budgeted at what they signed up for in the open enrollment.
Okay.
You want to talk about city sales and use?
About a shift? Well, it can. All right, so talked about this over and over, I guess. What I wanted to show is the way the unrestricted general fund is, no, I don't.
But I told
I am on my screen. How come you couldn't see it? Thank you.
you what,
The general fund's unrestricted balance started the year at 2.8 million. There was a reserve that was pulled aside that was generated from the general fund, ARPA surplus, that when we used the ARPA money and instead of for the water sewer at the recommendation of AML because of the, plan, about the staging and the engineering and the projects they wanted to earmark that ARPA first tranche to of 972,000. It was originally earmarked for them, and then we moved the second tranche of that tranche. We moved it over to pay the salaries for the police. And that was the easiest way to go because there's less red tape and it can all be used and we can get through all of the federal audits on that, and we did. But water sewer came to the commission, and the commission came to city council and said, originally you planned the 972, and now we've got reload of all of our utility costs for the road. And the thought was that we would take that 972 out of the 2.8 million and go ahead and restrict it to them for that purpose. So that money is being moved this year to the water sewer department because they just now have amassed about a little over $1 million in moving the utilities for that road that was on us. So that was earmarked to cover that. So pulling that out and looking at where we currently are, the amount that was listed here in the fire department is a surplus. General and admin department is a surplus right now. Their expenses are less than their revenue streams. But the police, the animal services, parks right now is 31.3, planning is 2,000. That leaves us with a balance if we were to cease today, and it being 12/31 right now, we would carry that 1.1 million over. And then this budget that's here for general, that's just last year's budget with some modifications, because I don't have their this year budget, what they're looking in at to go in there. Has not been presented to me yet. So that's a placeholder. I don't know what it's really gonna be, but let's assume it's the same. Let's assume that's 25's budget just carried over to 26. Then you have the fire coming in at a deficit, 893,000 deficit for police. Everybody's deficit. And if that holds, which I have no reason to believe it would, but all for one department, if that holds, we're bringing our unrestricted general fund down to 375, and that is a no-go, hard no-go. You'd be dropping it $1 million to about 67%. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to look at, every department is gonna hear this same. You guys are just like number one in this. You're in the lead in the approval of budgets right now from your perspective. Water sewer will do theirs on Monday night. If you look at this parks amount, we looked up at the top. Ooh, let me go back to parks now. You saw the numbers, so I'll go to parks. I looked at the amounts that were listed. Let me make it smaller. The items that have the X's here, I have the taxing document here for the city sales and use tax, and it's what the voters said, this is what we are giving you the tax for. And so we looked at what was in the O&M side and said, well, that's funny, these things actually meet the criteria for what the tax was for, but what's happening is the general fund's having to cover the deficit and the overspend on those, and what the discussion was is that the city sales and use tax monies should be paying for all of the things that the citizens said are city sales and use tax payable, and you manage that budget that way, because that is your budget to manage, all of it. And it says Parks and Recreations includes without limitation acquiring, constructing, improving, expanding, equipping, furnishing, operating, maintaining new and existing parks, recreational facilities, including parking, landscape, signage, drainage, trails, bike trails, lighting concession, road, utility improvements related to and in support thereof. It is not, however, for salaries and wages and or related. So that's what your requirement said. So I looked down at the items that are sitting in the O&M or containing the normal operating expenses for a parks department. And we looked at the contract labor pavilion cleaning fees, and that's actually cleaning the pavilion, which is really a park facility. However, we're not moving that back to the city sales and use tax, primarily because your rental fees come from the rent, and that's what generates the need to clean. And we have to have a matching concept where the revenue and the expense are in the same cost center. And that's why that will not move. And then we go down to the next one, which was the fuel for the equipment. Well, that seems to meet the criteria. You're gonna have to have the equipment to do with maintaining of your parks. That's something should be shifted back over to city sales and use tax, along with vehicles, the insurance on the building, the insurance on the equipment, all part of the cost for what you have in those parks. It is generating some revenue, however, the insurance is the building, it's a park property. You're looking at the maintenance and repairs on the vehicles, the maintenance and repairs on the equipment, and materials and supplies was a question mark. I don't know what materials and supplies you'd have other than for the parks. Is that fair to say? So when you look at moving what is really city sales and use tax expenses, that would move out 46,000 on this current budget, $46,824. And when you look at what that does, is that takes that deficit from 29,000 to a surplus of 17. And right now, everybody's gonna have to start contributing, but in order for this to be a balanced budget for the O&M side, this has to be at least zero. You have to live within your expenses, your revenue streams. Now, there's some other things that we can do, and they all have to do with the way the council allocates county sales tax, but that's a discussion for them. Because right now, there's about $100,000 that it's pre-distributed right off the top of county sales tax that could be distributed based on the percentage distribution, and every operating department within the general fund could get a bigger piece of the county sales tax in their revenue streams that would help offset this. So that's just, I'm giving suggestions, it's just something to think about. But this surplus that would be here needs to build back the situation that we have with our contingency. Our contingency is $1 million, and right now, we would be about $750,000 below our level of what we consider to be the adequate contingency. So remember, anything that you've done to take a bite out of that fund balance to be able to balance the budget, at some point, you have to put back, and that would be you contributing back $17,000 for it. Like I said, if it comes down to it, I would be happy with this 29 going away and it be as close to zero, if not slightly above, slightly surplus for every one of those departments. You know, these are the monies in green that you guys control. These are all of your monies. These are monies that were restricted. They are in the general fund, but they are restricted to your purpose, and you control the distributions of those monies for those specific things. So when you adjust right now your parks, we would take out the 42,000 from the current 163. That would bring your city sales and use tax parks down to 134 as of now. I have on that presentation for the, I'm gonna go back to this right here. The 163, 126, when you look at what the net would be, it's 51,824. That's the 42,000 plus the 11,005 added back in. But it's also taking out $6,500 and shifting it back over to operations for the hanging baskets that go around the light poles. That's in city sales and use tax, and I'm having a stretch figuring out how that's there. It's under public relations, but it's not really maintaining a park. If it could be operating and go into what would be under the general fund's unrestricted auspice, I would prefer to do that. And the other one was the tree giveaway. That doesn't benefit the park, it benefits somebody's house or somebody's property. It doesn't, it's not really a city sales and use tax expense, the way I look at it. And I'm recommending that go back over to the park side. So we shift 6,500 out, 11,500 in, now maybe 9,500.
9.5.
And then the shifting of the other expenses that I just talked about back to where it belongs. And we permanently keep it there, and you manage the budget that way. So, worst case scenario, we move the 42. Best case scenario, we move 29 or just under 30 to balance your budget. So,
Yeah. I think it sounds like a good plan.
and like I said, you've got recovery on the horizon. It's just, you gotta wade through about 2 years worth of.
Water in the soup. From the last time we looked through the budget, we've changed just those things. And it's because we're basically budgeting for inflation at this point. We're as close to zero as we can be, or close to flat as we can be.
I'll go to the A&P grant money, just so you know, where that 31,005 comes from. That's the current budget right now for capital expenditures. And that's where we're getting that number for the inclusive park. We try to spend, and that's the point, you try to spend the money that you're given from A&P for the park purposes. You don't wanna necessarily accumulate it and not do anything with it for years and years. That's not the point of it. The point is you get it, you put it to good use. Right now, primary expense was 3 events, but you also have that amounts left over for capital improvement projects, capital expenditures, scout projects. That's where the scout projects was normally budgeted. Next year, when you look at what is in the budget, and this is still undetermined right now based on the December 2nd A&P commission meeting that will happen in December. But your current budget would be based on the revenue projections, pretty much liquidity, the $324 left over in that account. That's using all the money you were given, all the money they would have had to give you, you spent it. And you spent it in that way. Capital projects at 36 and 63,000 on the events. And if you go up higher, you can see what events, on the second page, you would see how that 63 was divvied out by them
But we do have 6,000 in there though for scout projects.
For next year, yeah.
for next year, assuming that comes to fruition. Now, that number can go up or down based on the collection and the amount of monies that were generated through A&P, because you were getting a percentage of that. So as that goes up, and right now they're down, they're below budget. If that number goes up, that gives you a bigger piece of that pot, and it allows you to do more, which could fund that scout project through here. And then you have the Michael was on, I think you have the City Lake sign project, and you're still in limbo on that, because all you have is you have a balance in there that at some point you'll have to address how you wanna deal with that. I also had a talk with, both the mayor and, Casey about the summer rec program. And what has to happen this year is that's one of those oopsies. You really have to budget that to be pretty neutral, if a little bit of a surplus. Because you're not at a point where your city sales and use tax can continue to fund overages in these programs. It's a great program, everybody knows that. We just have to start earlier, get a little more sponsorships if possible because of what we built on from last year. And we also need to be looking at how we want to address what the tuition price point would be. so.
Well, I think being able to take payments online is gonna be huge, cause I'm still pretty sure that some people never paid. Yeah.
Is there any way we can control any of that?
Yeah, now.
Now we can.
Now they
Yeah,
have the
Casey's got a
program
plan.
that'll help.
Definitely a learning year, but it was a,
Yeah.
it was a huge success.
It's a good program.
I think the first year always is.
Yeah.
We also talked about the good thing about this year, having it in June this year, was that we bought most of the things that we need to
Oh, the
run
continue on
the
for a
program.
couple
So we
years.
have the stable of things that are required to make it happen. So we won't have to spend that money next year. Any question?
So I make the modifications as recommended for the shifts both ways, and, that's what you'll be voting on for a presentation for a budget study session to city council.
I'm just the slowest one on here, okay? And I just want to make sure that I fully understand this. On page 2, if we make those adjustments, are we still asking from the general fund?
No,
So we would have a surplus, after we've made all those adjustments, we would have the surplus of $17,630.
general
Roughly.
fund would.
The general fund
You
would,
wouldn't,
they would have it,
yes.
okay. But we would be not asking the general fund any money, for any money for our projects, we would be zero.
You have
Ish.
an option of that 17,000 surplus to
Yeah.
budget something in there to use that up if you
Yeah.
wanted to. You didn't hear me say that, but
But-
that's your wiggle room in there if you absolutely needed it. But that's
Yeah.
where city council can start questioning you about,
For surplus.
do you
But-
need that?
But what I'm asking is, if we approve this budget, we're asking the city for the general fund is a zero, correct? We'll be living within our budget.
You're not spending more than you're bringing in.
That's what I needed to know. That's what I like. Okay, just making sure that I fully understand that. So, we would be not asking for general, we would be living within our,
Yes.
Within our means.
within our means.
Yes, you
Okay,
need a balanced budget for your operations.
that's what I wanted to hear.
And I would like to see us maybe reduce that 17,000 to be like a little bit closer to zero, so we have a contingency for like the Boy Scout project, or, you know, if we have an overage on rec camp or something like that, so we have a little bit of a cushion. So I don't know if we could. What is that smirk, or smirking back and
They have the power.
forth?
I
Okay.
can't budget miscellaneous, that won't fly. You know, city
No,
council
but
says
could we-
no, but
Could we
if you
budget
know what you
Boy
wanna
Scout
budget in there,
project 9850? Could we budget, supplies for rec camp, $3,000, you know, that kind of thing?
well, those don't come out of.
Not out
those.
of the, yeah.
Those come out of those individuals that you control. Your rec camp is your own, it's an own budget, your own budget, own account.
Right, but can we not put that back into that?
I would recommend no, so
Oh.
you have a way of now accounting for your costs and your revenues.
Okay.
It's a cost center, and you wanna keep that separate, otherwise it's buried into your O and M,
Okay.
and I would not recommend that.
Okay.
But I follow what you're saying, though. If you are thinking that some of your expense items now, with a budgeted $17,000 surplus, that you're real tight on, that's what I was looking at him on, and you think that's probably, we're probably close to that, it might go over, there's some, well, he can go through and take a harder look at those expenses and put in there a little more reasonable, a little more comfort level, but not to the tune of greater than $17,000.
Okay.
But the point I'm trying to make is the more that we can build back in the general fund, and he had a great point, I just was refusing to hear it the other day, and that is that, you contribute, and I've done the same thing for fire. Fire hasn't seen it yet, but I've moved theirs as well to city sales and use tax, so he doesn't play the shifting game over to accumulate more in his city sales and use tax for other projects. you'd hear the same message. They don't have city sales and use tax. Planning doesn't, police doesn't, fire does, animal services doesn't. That's unfortunate, but they're gonna have to make some hard decisions too.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see about getting us a little cushion on some of these that we might be tight on then.
Okay.
And again, all that will be subject to city council saying yes or no.
So does it sound like we're ready for maybe a vote to accept this budget?
I got what I need.
Do I have a motion to accept this budget as it,
As presented?
as presented,
as amended.
as amended?
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Travis?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Edwards?
Yes.
Unanimous.
The next thing on the agenda is the pavilion and cancellation fees.
You should have a page in your packet. It's just the pavilion agreement form, application form. And it has a little section highlighted in yellow. I don't understand why this does not have any type of cancellation fees or any clauses for cancellation. There needs to be a cancellation fee. There's no penalty if someone just wants to cancel their event 3 days before they have it booked, 30 days before they have it booked. Right now, the way this reads, I just have to kick all their money back, whatever they have on the books. So this gives us a little more teeth, I guess, to where we're able to at least retain their deposit. If we want to put a time frame on it, totally okay with that. I would suggest either 60 or 90 days from the reservation, just so someone else might have the opportunity to reserve that date. 30 is a little too close. I think 90 is kind of the sweet spot for planning purposes of other people looking at the calendar.
For transparency on both sides of the question here, do we know how many cancellations cost us not to rebook that same date?
Sorry, ask again.
So if someone canceled September 30th, 2 months out, do we know how many times like that date, September 30th, went without being rebooked by someone?
No, I don't know that specific data.
When people are renting the pavilion, usually how far out do they rent it? Is it typically 90 days or is it 60 days?
90 days is a good cushion. And I think it also kind of depends on the type of event too. Like a wedding is booked a little more in advance. Baby shower, kind of in advance. Birthday parties, you can have like 2 weeks of lead time on a birthday party or some kind of get together.
So if we said within 60 days of canceling and somebody books, 30 days out, they automatically know that they're going to lose their deposit if they
Absolutely.
cancel.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm great with
I
that.
think that'd be fair.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. I don't know why we haven't done it in the past.
Yep.
Gives us an opportunity to cover our losses,
Well, yeah.
literally.
So even if the pavilion was rented subsequent to them
We're
canceling.
$250 ahead.
We still keep the deposit.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's like your reservations at a hotel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or even like,
I think it's an industry standard, so I don't think
Massage
we'll
therapist.
lose any business for asking for it, so it just protects us.
And if they don't show it all, we keep it all.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking. We've got,
Good.
If they paid for their event and they decide not to show up, then
we haven't,
I'd still send their deposit back to them, just like it happened. Is that what you're asking?
yeah.
Okay,
So they'll lose the $250 deposit, right?
right.
What about the $150 cleaning fee? That's non-refundable. I assume they don't pay that yet.
No, I mean, typically they're paid up within 30 days.
Okay. So they'll just not get the $250 back.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, is there any protection we got if somebody saying what they're gonna give money or give things to us, and they don't follow through with it, and we put their logo and stuff on the shirts and stuff, we give away? In other words, we prepare for this guy to come, he doesn't pay us. We've had some of it, but
Is that in
it's
reference to
not,
rec
is it
camp?
not a big issue?
Yes, so, I don't know.
Rec camp?
That's only happened once since I've been here.
Okay, then it's nearly not an issue. Okay.
Just to go back to the cleaning fee though, so the way this reads is that $150 non-refundable cleaning fee will be added to your reservation. So if they cancel and they don't get their $250 back, you said though you will refund the $150.
Yep.
So we may wanna see about rewording that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was asking you.
Everyone-
A lot better.
Yeah, I'm like,
So everyone, the reason it says non-refundable is because everyone gets it confused with the price of the reservation. They always think that the cleaning fee is included in that reservation price.
okay.
But I can easily just put not included in the reservation.
Yeah,
Okay.
and remove non-refundable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's better. Okay.
Do we have a motion for adding cancellation fees within a 90 days?
Do we say
90 a good time or 60?
I would like 60. I think 90's really hard. I mean, but I think 60 still allows us to rebook it. I mean, I'm just thinking, gosh, if I schedule a birthday party for my kid, and yeah, I know it's gonna be, but then a month later, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not gonna work. Now they have a volleyball game. And it's 60 days out. I'd like to be able to come on, it's 2 months,
Yeah.
60 is my, I don't know.
I'm fine with either. I just want something there.
I'll make that motion. We accept the
For
changes.
60 days or
60 today's.
60?
I'll second.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Travis?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Edwards?
Yes.
Unanimous.
The next item on the agenda is festival vendor participation fees.
Request to start charging vendors at festivals, Fall Fest and Freedom Fest included. I don't know if you walked around Fall Fest, but we had several vendors just decide to not show up day of, regardless of me. I tried to threaten them, I guess, by telling them that they would never be able to participate at a Greenwood event again. They'd basically be blacklisted, and they still didn't show up. And if you walked around, it was enough people didn't show up to notice that they weren't there. Like, there were several holes in the layout.
Yeah.
This is a minimal cost. This is probably 10% of what the average vendor sold at Fall Fest. $40 is next to nil.
That's what you're recommending, 40?
For a craft and artisan type, that just set up in a regular tent, and then make the double booths. If they request a double booth, just make it 60. Most everybody will double that, but it's worth it to just do 60. And then food trucks are 100. Again, that's minimal for a food truck. We set up at War Eagle last month, and it was $700 for 3 days. Granted, 3 days in War Eagle was gigantic, but $700 for 3 days. And this chart also shows how much the Parks Department would have benefited if we would have charged vendors at Fall Fest and Freedom Fest. The idea is potentially next year having around 50 vendors at Freedom Fest along Main Street, and charging them the same $40. But if the 83 people showed up that we had at Fall Fest last month would have paid $40, we would have made 3,000, just 3,300 bucks. And same for the food trucks, we had made 900 from them and $4,200. That would have paid for all the inflatables at Fall Fest, and would have put us ahead by 4,200 bucks. We basically would have been paying for some advertising and small supplies for that event. Now, Freedom Fest is a whole different animal. I mean, it's gonna be really hard to get them to defray any kind of percentage of that event, but, you know, $3,900 could pay for the big top tents that we set around for people to eat under or sit under while they're watching bands. So, I don't know, it's an idea.
I think it's
It's
a great idea.
Yes.
I'm for it.
I don't know
It
why we
helps
haven't done it in the past.
so much with when people have skin in the game to encourage them to show up, because that money will be collected before they show up. We can use the same sign-up tool that we're using for summer camps.
And again, what you're saying about getting them to show up and having some skin in the game, I've heard this over and over from directors in the past, that it's a chronic problem of getting them to stay the full day or even showing up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it would make a difference.
Again, this is not abusive, like, this is a minimal ask.
Do you have any idea what, like, Chaffee Crossing charges for, like, a farmer's market or a Fall Fest or anything? I'm just, like, comparative purses.
I don't. I think I'd be lying. The first thing that came to mind was 50,
Okay,
but I would be lying if I said 100%. We go to the Fort Smith Farmers Market on Saturday. We pay $10 in peak season, but we're there every week.
$10 a week?
$2 a day.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I have a question on this. On the food trucks, I guess they still have to get their $100 permit before they operate? And then this would be on top of that? Okay.
Yeah, just like we've done in,
And this would go to y'all and that
Yeah.
other goes to AMP, okay. So it would cost the food truck $250? Okay.
Now, the way the ordinance is set up,
they don't have to pay for events, do they?
no, they would be
Yeah.
exempted out of city events, but most of the food trucks that we have around here that are local have already paid that because they're already in the city.
I just wanted to make sure that understood that right.
They still should remit their 1% even at the festival, though, that's the taxing document.
I think it's great.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we implement the fees that have been recommended for the vendors. Future events.
I'll second.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Travis?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Edwards?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay. The next thing is A and P.
Oh, that's me, sorry. I was like, I don't see that on our list. What are- If we can just take a look back, and this is what kind of reminded me, in our comments from last meeting, we had kind of talked about, I know Mr. McAllister had joined us, but we were just kind of talking about the AMP fund and how we're gonna use it. And I didn't feel like we really ever came to a resolution on that, and I don't know, Casey, if you've had any further discussion or.
My suggestion, and this is just my suggestion, is that we present our plans to the AMP, what we plan basically for this, the same as we did this year, and see if that will appease them. And because we're going to keep it pretty much the same, correct? And then let them make a decision, and after that, whatever their decision is, they can be bring back to us, where we can make a decision as well.
Okay, so just go to them and say, hey, we've got this
This is what-
$50,000
this is
worth of
what-
projects.
This is what
Okay.
we have for what we plan to do, follow last year's thing. I kind of noticed, and make sure that I read this right, it looked like the projected amount was going to be a lower amount next year. And so we also need to keep in mind, there might be a lower amount of money coming in next year, as well as a 5% increase of cost.
Yeah.
You know, so, and we're trying to live within a budget. That is the big thing. We want to live within our budget and everything. So that is my suggestion, is that we tell them this is what we did last year, just because this is the amount of money that we received last year, possibly not even receiving that much again next year, plus the cost of living. This is what my suggestion would be. And if they, let them decide from their point, and then if anything should come up, we can come back and recircle and redo it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, then I agree. I think just presenting our budget to them in their meeting should satisfy their requirements. I mean, it's pretty clear how we're using those funds, or how we've budgeted using those funds.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Can
kinda
we,
got
uh,
the,
And
Can we extend an offer to them too about the different committees we have, like Freedom Fest? That they're welcome to come in and sit and join those, so they have full transparency how stuff's being spent.
Sure.
I mean, I believe they're allowed to sit in on those, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be any problem at all.
I got the idea that they want to complete accountability for a project. For example, that Boy Scout project, which is great.
Yeah.
But then he has to buy shovels and da-da-da-da-da-da. Did they not, didn't you get the feeling from McAllister that they kind of thought they were blindsided when they just lumped it all in one lump? Didn't you? And I think you said something about him, that we do give accountability. I mean, how many paintbrushes we buy, how many, broken down to where the A and P can actually.
If we present them with our proposed budget, which includes line items for A&P commission money, and it's dedicated for nothing but A&P commission money. If they have any question about those line items and want to dig down further, Tom can always provide individual, line items beyond what we show them. I mean, it's not
Did that-
secret at all.
I did that in February.
Did you?
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't know what else to do to help give them.
My issue is that my accountability is with y'all. I report to the Parks Commission. I don't report to the mayor. I don't report to the A&P Commission. I report to y'all. So my accountability should be with y'all.
What happens to this stuff after he's finished his project?
Yeah,
That's part of the parks, right?
It's part of the parks, but if it's a Boy Scout project, honestly, it's all kept with Rod Powell because he's maintaining
Yeah.
all of those Boy
That's
Scout
fine.
projects.
I mean, I just wondered if there's accountability after the fact where they might get a little bit, a little bit careful. We're buying something here that we're gonna take home later or whatever.
No.
Okay, good. Go.
Thank you.
Do we need to vote on anything? No. Okay. All right. The next thing is the foundation report.
Have no report.
Director's report.
I'll hit the high points on this. I think last month we talked about a plaque for the pavilion. If you've seen the signs that we had made for the splash pad, those are aluminum along the fences there. They're really nice, and they're printed well too. I just priced a gigantic one, and it was 36 by 48, really big. The quote said $458. So, cheap. That's the route I would take. They're nice. They look really well finished. They have rounded corners, and just look sharp. And they're outdoor, indoor.
This
How
is
much did you say they were?
$458.
This is instead of doing like kind of the brass plaque, bronzy with the
That was like,
raised
what,
letters
4,000
and,
or something?
Yeah,
many-
very expensive.
Is that
Yeah.
one sign, or how many signs we buying?
One.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
What's the life on that? Like,
I mean, if you put it inside, it's forever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They'll, if you put it outside, I think it will just eventually be bleached by the sun, but what they recommend is to print them two-sided. So that you face one to the building and then just turn it around. It would be a little extra, but I was anticipating putting it inside.
Where inside?
I don't, somewhere
This is
inconspicuous, but
at the splash pad inside?
No.
pavilion.
Oh, at the pavilion, sorry.
Yep.
I'm like, where inside
Oh,
at
yeah,
the
in the
splash pad?
bathroom.
I was like, what are we talking about? Okay, sorry.
Casey,
Yes.
you probably said this, but what's the material?
It's aluminum. Yep. So I mean, that's minimal. That can be taken out of a budget, a line item this year with no issue.
I mean, if we have to replace it every 10 years, that's enough.
And do we have one at the splash pad already too?
There's 3 of them out there, but it's
No.
just displaying the rules.
Right,
There is a plaque there, yes, if that's
There
what you're,
okay,
and it is on the bathroom building, on the outside.
on the outside, I'd like to see if there's anything kind of in between. I don't know, feel like it's a little chintzy. I mean, that's a really nice building. I don't know.
I feel the same way.
I mean, we don't have the money, I understand, but,
Right now, we don't have enough money, but it almost seems like it would be better to wait until we could put,
a little
Something
bit
real
more
nice.
into it.
only my opinion.
Got it?
It's
I mean,
what
we've already been
everyone
waiting,
else-
what, since 2011?
Yeah,
When do
why
we?
do we need to be in a hurry?
Okay. Okay with that. Inclusive Park, last month we talked about, talking to State Office of Outdoor Recreation. The mayor and I went down and presented in Little Rock. We felt like we did a really good job, and we don't think that we were like patting ourselves on the back. We thought it was really well received. We're expecting to hear back from them beginning of December, so we have our fingers crossed. That's $440,000, potentially 50-50 match. So, looking forward to that.
Our 50's already done.
Yeah.
Okay,
We already
that's what
got
I was
our-
gonna ask.
We've already got our 50.
That's stable. I know the mayor did the same thing.
Okay. Okay.
Fall Fest recap. When it was all said and done, we had 70 craft and artisan vendors. 19 did not show up, 12 did not show up the day of, as we talked about previous. 9 food trucks all showed up. Vendors seemed to have successful sales. Most attendees were complimentary of the amount of inflatables. If you guys came to that event, there were inflatables everywhere, and kids all over them. Right now, Christmas on the Square is organized. It's just a matter of starting to advertise for it. We'll have 6 food trucks and 4 craft food, sweet treat kind of vendors set up. Cool thing this year is that the high school jazz choir is gonna come out and perform some Christmas songs. And that's actually gonna be their, like, Christmas performance for the year. So we'll have all of them, which I understand there's a bunch of them, and all their family members will be there to attend.
If you ever need the Theater Academy kids, I could probably round up.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We're doing a float.
Next year.
So we're already, yeah.
That's all I got.
What about the backside?
Oh,
The
sorry.
Santa Claus?
Yep, this is the schedule for the Santa house.
And did you find a Santa?
Right now, I should just call it the house because I don't have a Santa yet.
Does anyone know a Santa?
Yeah, so if you have a connection to Santa, let me know.
Yeah.
Not me, not it.
I know, that's right.
I'm working on it. I have
What pay you?
prospects.
Couple leads.
Yeah. And that's all I got.
I have a quick question about the Santa house. How well attended is it? And are you able to track the number of people that stop in? Like do you have a counter? or
Not a
anything?
clicker, no. It's mainly local traffic. It's,
Yeah.
I know in years past, they've had people come in and read.
that's happening too. I'm working with Jessica Bryan
Okay.
to make that happen.
Is it the same days that the Santa's there,
Yep.
or different days?
Yep,
Same
same
days?
day.
Gotcha, all right.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions? Any comments?
Nope.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Do well, do well.
We can, we find our way home.